I had a great childhood growing up. It's like any New Zealand lawn, there are just patches worn out where you're just kicking the ball all day. You know, like any of those small towns, running around bare feet, picking fruit and annoying the neighbours and just playing rugby. It was all of those things. If you had watched me growing up, I was quite average, to be honest, and then moved up to Golden Bay Nelson when I was 16, and then just got a little bit of hope and a little bit of belief that I could actually enjoy what I was doing. And I was playing for a little club side, and someone said to me, "You're going to be an All Black," and it was hard to believe because I was in a pub having a couple of quiet beers. It feels like a dream. The person probably had the biggest influence on not just my career but many careers was probably Wayne Smith and Peter Sloane when they did the Crusaders.
If you could distill what it was about Wayne Smith that made him so influential for you and still such a great coach, what is it?
It was about developing people, it was about learning, it was about being educated, stimulated, but it was really a passion for the game.
And then you made the transition from playing to coaching. How did you make that switch? How did you find that switch?
When you go into coaching, you're a novice. You've got to be prepared to get the broom out and start sweeping, because your reputation will only take you so far, and in the eyes of your players, they'll see through your coaching ability, your expertise and your knowledge straight away.
Did you take much persuading to bring your family to the other side of the world? Because it wasn't a lot of fun at Bath last season.
I wanted it to be the right fit. You know, if I'm going to commit myself to 3 years, I want to feel like I can really get my teeth into it, that I can make a difference. And two, it was, you know, I was the right fit for what the team needed at the time. And since coming in, it feels like it was the best decision I've ever made.
Clearly, things aren't perfect if a coach is just left at the end of the season in the way that Mike did. Were they honest with you? Has anything surprised you about what you found down the road?
Yeah, I was more interested in where the club wanted to go. I can honestly say I never asked one question about Mike and what went wrong. I wanted to come in with fresh eyes. I didn't want to be influenced. I didn't want to make assumptions. You know, if you walk around a hammer, everything looks like a nail, doesn't it? I didn't want to come in thinking there's something terribly wrong and I had to fix it.
Bath have the victory. It is 4 out of 5 for Todd Blackadder.
There is laughter and there is smiles on the faces, and it helps that you're winning again. That's an important thing to have as far as you're concerned.
Ultimately, the game is for the players, and my job is to not only get the best out of them, but to give them a program that they can really enjoy. You know, I want them to grow and thrive, and the players understand that ultimately it is up to them, and they want to go out there and enjoy themselves and achieve their goals and their dreams for the team as well. Then I think you're pretty close to getting it right. But I want to take it forward for the next 3 years, and I think the players do too. And often when you're looking back, as I said, all you really get is a stiff neck.
You did look back a little bit though. You look back over the previous 2 years worth of games, 60-odd games.
Yeah, I've been quizzed a lot about that, but when you break it down, there's only about 32 minutes in a game of rugby. Don't tell anyone.
No.
You know, probably the difference here is the weather. When you get into winter, you've got to change the way that you play here, and that's something that we haven't had to do.
That's fascinating for you as a coach though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. That's why it's so invigorating for me to be here, because I'm learning. You know, I'm learning all the time. Like, we would tweak a game every week over there and do the things subtly, but here you almost need to change the way that you play. And even when we played Gloucester on the weekend, it was wet and it was heavy, so we probably should have kicked a lot more.
We've got your winter woolies that can get cold on a Friday night in October.
But I've been joking with the coaching team that ever since I've turned up, the sun's come out. So
Todd, I promise you, this is not going to last.
I mean, I think we've had 2 wet days since I've been here, so long may it last.